Hi everyone, this is Christine again. It's still January 6th, 2017. It's part 3. It's in the afternoon, as opposed to the other video was early this morning. You know the videos that Anna made for those 3.5 years? She's still making videos, only now she's making videos more about heaven and about helping people to realize that the second coming of Christ has occurred and people are waking up. You know, that the dead are coming back to life. This is the consciousness and the awakening that people have been talking about. It's a spiritual thing, but it also plays out in the physical, because whatever happens in the spiritual plays out in the physical realm. And we just need to get everybody else on board to realize, and then to wake up themselves. But everybody has to do it in their own time. In the videos and in the homework that we used to have, because like I said in the other video, we were going through school very fast. You know, Anna would wake up in the early morning before she had to get her family off to work and school, and she would go in her closet, like scripture says, and she would get a message and then write everything down, and she'd make a video for us early in the morning. And that video, we're supposed to watch it and study it, listen, learn, understand, let it soak in, and do the homework. It went very fast. You know, her day went on, our day went on, and the next morning it would repeat and we'd get a new homework assignment. School went very fast. This is why it says in Daniel that knowledge shall be increased in the last days. We went through school very fast. It was 24-hour periods where we got new homework assignments every day. If you didn't do your homework and you didn't stay up with it, you would fall behind in class. It's just like a regular classroom where the teacher gives you homework assignments and you have to do it, because if you don't do that day's assignment, you won't understand the next day's assignment, which is going to build on the previous day's assignment. So you had to stay with each video. You had to do every assignment. In some of these videos that Anna was talking about, because she made the spiritual journey whereas I made the physical journey, because you need both. You know, we are spirit beings in a physical body, so you need both the physical and the spiritual. I made the physical journey, which is why it took me 21 years. Anna made the spiritual journey, which is what took her 3.5 years. But her spiritual journey is the same as my physical. It's just that what she gave us in 24 hours, it took me 1 whole year to do in the physical. Because I remember the videos and the assignments that she would give us, and I would be listening to it. I would read her comments too. The comments underneath her videos, and some people were very nasty to her. It's because they didn't understand. But I understood, and you have to realize, you have to know Jesus' voice. A lot of people in religion don't know his voice. They know their pastor's voice. They know the voice of what they think they're supposed to believe, but they don't really know Jesus' voice, because if they did, they would be following him. And that's what, you know, he says, my sheep hear my voice, my sheep know my voice, and they follow me. You have to know his voice, and you have to recognize it when people are talking to you. It's like a truth that rings in your spirit and your soul, and you just know that this is it. That's what happened with me. I figured it out. I knew that it was Jesus behind Anna who was giving us these messages, and he was the one leading us out of the abyss, because the abyss is a huge ocean, guys. You get lost in there. If you get lost, you're not going to find your way out. It's dark. You know, it's like being in this huge auditorium that's dark with no lights on, and you can't find the walls. You don't know where the door is, the exit door is, so you start crying. Or you fall down on the ground, feeling lost, wishing somebody would come get you. That's what it's like in the abyss. So you actually need Jesus to come. That's why he's the light and the lamp, like in the Psalms. He's the light and the lamp for us, because we are in a dark auditorium. We're in the dark abyss. So he had to come and speak to us through the voice of Anna. And he does that with a whole bunch of us. With all of us, actually. We're all his mouthpiece if we will allow ourselves for Jesus to work through us. We are his hands and his feet, because he lived 2,000 years ago. His body is not down here anymore, but his spirit is. And his spirit works through our bodies. We are his hands when we go and help out our fellow neighbor who's hurt. We are his feet when we go and run errands and do kind things, for our fellow man. We are Jesus's hands and feet, and his heart and his kindness, if we allow ourselves to be. So he had to come and work through Anna to show us the way out of the abyss. And like I said, he did not raise us. He didn't bring us to the surface out in the middle of the ocean. Because can you imagine if you came to the surface and you were out in the middle of the ocean? It's like, well, I don't have a boat. I can't see land anywhere. That would be terrible, because you think, well, which way is the shore? Because you can't see it. So thankfully, he brought us through the abyss, and we started surfacing gradually until he brought us to the beach, where we could actually walk on the sand and get out of the water and get back on land, where life is happening, where the light workers are, where people are happening, where businesses and buses and cars are happening, where buildings are. It's where you come back to life when you come out of the water, out of the abyss, and out of the grave, when you sit up from your coffin. Just like how Jesus raised people from the dead. He told them, get up off your mat and go home. You're healed. So he woke people up. Even the little 12-year-old girl that died, he told his disciples, she's not dead, she's just sleeping. That's what it is. It's a sleep that all of us go through. And it's an unconsciousness, and it's that darkness, like from Sleeping Beauty, that fell on the whole kingdom when Sleeping Beauty pricked her finger on the spinning needle and fell asleep, where she died, but it was the sleep of death. And only true love could wake her up. So anyway, these videos that Anna was making, I was recognizing a lot of what she was saying. It was almost shocking to me, because Anna was only speaking what Jesus was giving her that morning, because she took her notebook in the closet with her and would write down notes, and then would come and sit down at her computer, make the video for us, and read everything that had been given to her. And that was our message for the day, and we had 24 hours to get it, to understand it, to soak it in. Now, some of these videos, there were a lot of difficult things in there, which is why I think a lot of people left. Some people just dropped out of school, and they wrote nasty things in the comment section and called her names and told her things that weren't very kind. I was reading the comments, guys, and I was seeing everything, but I was also writing her private messages telling her not to give up and to keep going, because secretly in my heart I knew it was Jesus behind her giving the messages, and quite frankly, I wanted out. I wanted out of the coffin. I wanted out of the abyss. I didn't know that's where I was. I had a feeling that's where I was, but I knew I was lost somewhere, like in darkness, and I just wanted out. And I knew that this was Jesus telling us the way out through Anna. So I stuck to Anna and her videos like glue every single day. I showed up to watch what the next video was, and I did the homework. Whatever Jesus told us we had to do for that day. in order to progress and move forward. And that's how you get through school, guys. You have to do your homework every single day. Some people didn't believe her and they left her channel. That's people who dropped out of school. Okay? Some people fell behind. They didn't watch all of her videos. They didn't understand the pieces of the puzzle. They would write comments saying, I don't get this and stuff. And it's because they didn't have the foundation. What you had to do was go back to her video number 1 and watch and get caught up on everything. And then her future videos would have made sense. Because Jesus had started her at the very beginning, from kindergarten, and then he took us through high school graduation. So that's what those 3.5 years were. It was spiritual kindergarten through high school graduation. And the thing is, if you didn't do the homework, you didn't graduate at the end. And if people didn't graduate, they didn't resurrect. Okay? She finished her videos, she resurrected, she made it out, she graduated. And I did too, 9 days after her. There are others who came out, they understood it, and they woke up, and they realized, you know, the old paradigm was done and the new paradigm had moved in. There are people who got it from her videos. There are others who didn't. And what you want to do, guys, is graduate from high school. This is why in one of her videos she talked about going round and round in circles. If you don't, it's just like in school, guys, like regular school. If you don't pass your grade, you flunk and you got to go back. This is the loop, the cycle that people get caught in. It's going back and repeating 3rd grade or 2nd grade or 4th grade or 5th grade, whatever. If you fail the grade, you got to go back and repeat it. And this is the loop that she was talking about, and this is the loop that a lot of people are stuck in. People are stuck in loops in different grades from kindergarten to high school, depending on how far you've gotten on your journey. But these things that Anna was telling us in the videos, I knew that some of these things could not be done in a 24-hour time period. But I also remembered a lot of these things, a lot of these videos she was making, and the homework assignment she was giving us. I would listen to her. I would realize that there's no way everybody watching her videos could do what was required in that video for homework assignment and have that done in 24 hours. There was no way. But then I also remembered doing that very thing, and I even remembered the year that I did it. So what she was telling us spiritually to do in a 24-hour time period, I did in the physical over the course of 1 whole year. So it did get fulfilled, and that's what Jesus said. I did not come to destroy the law, I came to fulfill it. And that's what I did. I fulfilled everything I needed to. When I got towards the end of my journey, I was going to need somebody to physically take my hand and lead me back to the surface. And that's where Anna came in. Jesus came through Anna. You know, this is a weird thing. I was in a bookstore, and there was a table in the walkway. There was this big book. It's called a birthday book. Inside, if you look at it, it has every single day of the year in it. And depending on your birthday, you know, you go to that month and day, and it tells you a little bit about your personality and your strengths and your weaknesses. There's a column on the right-hand side that has other birthdays that you might have love and friendship with, other birthdays of people that you might find beneficial to you, other birthdays of people who are challenging, and other birthdays that are people that are listed as your soulmates. My dad and my grandmother both have the same birthday, and my grandmother and my grandfather are listed as soulmates actually in that birthday book, which would make my dad and my grandfather soulmates, because my dad and my grandmother have the same birthday. Anna is listed as a soulmate with my grandfather, my dad's father. So she is tied in somehow into my family. And just like with Ruth, the only person who can redeem you is a kinsman redeemer. It's Boaz and Ruth. Anna somehow is a kinsman redeemer for me, and that's why I think Jesus chose her. Anna is a lot like me. We both do the same type of work. We both love words. We both love letters and writing and stuff like that. We're both very similar, but we're also different because she's a lot better in languages than I am. But we're very similar. So somehow, you know, with her being soulmates with my grandfather and my grandfather being soulmates with my dad and my grandmother, she is tied in somehow, soul-wise, in the same soul family as me, which would make her, in essence, a kinsman redeemer. And I think that's also why Jesus chose her, because she and I are very similar, but she's also in my soul family somehow, and that's the only person that could redeem you, is a Boaz and Ruth, and a kinsman redeemer type, according to Scripture. Because remember, Jesus said you have to fulfill the book. You don't destroy the book, you have to fulfill it. It's the same thing with reading a book. If somebody picks up a book and starts reading it on page 1, you have to actually finish the book all the way to the last page in order to say it is finished, and then you can close the book and put it on the shelf. So it has to be fulfilled. You have to walk all the way through the book. And that's what I did. I walked all the way through the book. I didn't know that's what I was doing, because it wasn't until I resurrected that Jesus actually turned me around and showed me my whole path and what exactly I had done. And then it all made sense to me. The only people besides you guys now on this video, and I've told a little bit to Anna but nothing in detail, is my dad and my sister. Those are the only 2 people. Now my friends and my family, immediate and extended, they all saw me go through this. So they were all my witnesses, but none of them know that I've come out. I mean, they know I'm different, you know, like I'm back into life again. But none of them know about my journey. They don't know what it means. They don't know that I came out. They don't know why it happened. They just, you know, think I was probably this religious crazy person, which I was, because you can't go into the abyss and into hell in a right mind. You gotta go nutso, which is a religious fanatic, and Jesus is with you the whole time, watching over you, because you're gonna need a guardian, because you are not in your right mind when you are a religious fanatic. Okay? It's, your wires are crossed. We're divine beings. We have energy running through us. When your wires get crossed, it's the same thing with like lights or radio stations or anything like that. When the frequency and the wires get crossed, the machine does not operate properly. It's like a robot that's supposed to be made to clean your house, but instead his wires get crossed and he becomes a rogue, and then instead he turns on you instead of cleaning the house. That's what it's like. When you go rogue, when you get into a religion, you become rogue. Okay, your wires get crossed and you start thinking in a judgmental way, and you start getting nasty, and this is how Christians are able to kill each other. Or all religions, for that matter, are able to kill each other. They have crossed wires. Their circuitry is not working right. It's twisted. All you have to do is untwist it and fix the circuitry, and they will go back to normal and being kind, loving people. So that's what's going on in the world, and we just have to get everybody on board, try to help as many people as we can to realize that heaven is here. It's back on earth, guys. Jesus finished the job. The kingdom of heaven has been brought back down. What he started 2,000 years ago, that he has been doing little by little through all the light workers over the generations and the centuries. It's finally come to a conclusion in this generation. And speaking of Trump, Trump is not a bad guy. He is actually going to set things straight from all the corruption and chaos that has been happening in the old paradigm. He is part of the new paradigm, and he's going to fix things. Trump is not somebody to be afraid of. It's going to be okay. Okay, so I just wanted to share that, and I hope everyone's having a great day, and I will talk to you again soon in the next video, whenever that is. Thanks for stopping by. Be well, everyone. Okay, bye-bye.